Pastor Fred here. I'd like to talk to you from my heart. I'd like to just share with you some of the things I've been ruminating on, some things that definitely keep me encouraged, and some things that cause me great concern. Let me start by saying I absolutely love this church. The church generosity is overwhelming. It's amazing to me. When I think about the number of people that serve and give and then give some more, man, it's encouraging. I think about Sunday morning. There's so many people that arrive here on campus even before I show up. The tech team, the ushers, the greeters, they're setting up the courtyard, the worship team. Just so many people involved in serving the rest of the church. I think of Fridays at 5 and the people that are there serving week in and week out, and even midweek buying supplies and preparing. I think about various leadership teams meeting, the elder and the global impact team, to keep things going, and our staff, which works so hard. There's so many good things. On the other hand, there are some things that concern me. And I just want to share, to set this up, that I believe the second coming of Jesus Christ is very close at hand. When I look at the signs, I see a worldwide pandemic. I see the foundation is clearly set for there to be a one world government. See the collapse of world economies. They're just right on the brink of that. We see unchecked rioting and looting, mass destruction. All of these things are things that Jesus spoke about when he talked about his return. I want to read to you from Matthew 24, starting at verse 6. Jesus said, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you're not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come." He goes on in verse 7, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom." Now, when he uses the word nation there in Greek, it's the word ethnos. Ethnos will rise against ethnos, and or in our vernacular, ethnicities will rise against ethnicities. And don't we see that happening with all of the tension surrounding the whole Black Lives Matter movement? There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. And just in the recent months, there's been earthquakes in, of all places, Utah, Nevada, Tennessee, the Carolinas. Amazing. Verse 12 says, "Because of the increase of wickedness, which no doubt is there, the love of most will grow cold." Verse 10 says, "At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other." And I see that. I see people in my generation, in our generation, that have turned away from the faith. People, too many to count, that I can recall sitting side by side in worship services, serving alongside in a church, whether this one or the church I belonged to before, that have since just walked away from the church. At the end, Jesus says, verse 32, "Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that is near, right at the door." Now, Jesus always used a fig tree to illustrate Israel. And many would say that, Israel will be regathered as a nation before these things happen. And in 1948, Israel was made a nation again. Hadn't been so since 70 AD. And Psalm 90 says a generation lasts 70, maybe 80 years. Well, it's been 72 years since Israel's been formed as a nation. And that just tells me that if this nation won't, or if this generation doesn't pass away, it just says that time is narrowing rapidly. But my heart is kind of grieved about something, and I think it's important to share it with you. At the start of the shelter in place, which was in March, we began live streaming our worship services. And immediately we saw viewership just skyrocket. I mean, we were reaching 700-800 people or viewers to watch what we were doing. And my feelings at the time, they were somewhat euphoric, saying, "Oh my gosh, when shelter in place drops off or is relaxed, man, the church population, not only at Gateway, but around the world, is just going to skyrocket because of the number of people tuning in on interest." But after about 4 weeks, viewership began to decline, and it's been declining ever since. And it leads me to believe there's a lot of people that have just got out of the habit. It's not a priority. It's other things are taking its place. Sure, it's not as exciting as being there in person with no restrictions, but people are right now turning away. I just hope it's not a permanent turn away. I hope it's just temporary. But I have my questions. We started our live worship, and we have the ability to see 220 people on a Sunday. And on a Sunday, we've never got more than about 70 people at a service, which means there's about 300 people. And it's been established. These are pretty much the same 70 people that we see, give or take. But there's, a couple hundred, 250 people or so that I just haven't seen. And when the viewership's down, I just wonder what's going on? What is going on? Is it ideal to come and worship when the shelter-in-place is in effect in COVID-19? No, absolutely not. But I want to tell you, we take a lot of precautions. We take everybody's temperature at the door. We require the wearing of a mask. We practice social distancing. We have sanitization stations. We offer outdoor seating. We have shortened our service time to have less exposure to other people. The chapel's well ventilated. And honestly, I don't understand why more people haven't returned. And I got it. There's people that for health concerns or their demographic just saying, man, I can't risk myself to be out in the public. But yet, when I go out, I see a lot of people in the public. So I don't know, it's just on my heart. This isn't meant to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not meant to really shame anyone. That's not my purpose. My purpose here is just allowing you into my heart, into my mind, into my thoughts. And I know one of my greatest challenges is to remain encouraged. And I fight this, but it's important for me to remain encouraged. And overall, man, when I give this to the Lord, I find myself, yes, I'm encouraged. Hope is coming. Hope is on its way. And after all, Jesus is coming soon. God bless you, and thank you for listening.